There was something you were supposed to do today. You didn't do it. You sat down to begin, and some quiet weight settled over you, and the task slid into tomorrow the way it always does. You called yourself lazy. You were wrong. The thing you call laziness is not a flaw in your character. It is one of the most successful survival strategies in the history of life on Earth. It carried your ancestors through famine, through drought, through winters that killed anything that moved too much. And it is still running right now, inside a skull that was built for a world that no longer exists. You think you are fighting your own weakness. You are actually fighting 200,000 years of instinct, and that instinct does not lose easily. Let me show you what is really happening. Picture the world your body was designed for. There are no supermarkets. There is no refrigerator humming in the next room. Every calorie you eat has to be hunted, dug up, chased, or carried, sometimes across miles of open ground, under a punishing sun. Food is not a guarantee. It is a gamble you make with your own energy. And in that world, energy is the most precious currency there is. Now imagine two of your distant ancestors standing at the edge of a clearing. One of them feels a restless urge to move, to wander, to expend effort for no immediate reward. The other one feels something else entirely. The other one looks at the empty horizon, decides there is no food worth chasing right now, and sits down in the shade to rest. Which one do you think survived the next famine? The one who rested? The one who conserved? The one who refused to waste a single calorie on motion that did not pay off? That ancestor is the one whose genes made it into you. The restless one, the one who burned energy for nothing, was far more likely to starve when the lean season came. Your aversion to pointless effort is not a defect. It is an inheritance. It is the quiet voice of every ancestor who survived by knowing when not to move. This is the part almost no one tells you. Your brain treats effort as a cost, a real, measurable, biological cost. And just like any careful accountant, it is constantly trying to spend as little as possible. A scientist named Mathieu Boisgontier wanted to test this directly. He is a researcher who studies how the brain decides between moving and staying still. So he ran an experiment. He put people in front of a screen and measured their brain activity while they chose between images of physical activity and images of rest. On the surface, the people wanted to be active. They said so. They believed it, but their brains told a different story. To choose the active option, their brains had to work harder. The pull toward rest, toward stillness, toward the couch was automatic and effortless. Avoiding that pull lit up extra circuitry as if the brain were straining against gravity. Boisgontier gave this idea a name. He called it the theory of effort minimization. The simple version is this. Deep in your nervous system, there is a setting that is always whispering one instruction: do less, save energy, stay put. You are not imagining the resistance you feel. It is physically there, written into the wiring beneath your thoughts. But here is where the story gets stranger, because you might assume that all of this resting, all of this conserving, all of this so-called laziness is the reason modern humans struggle with their health. You might think your ancestors were lean and tireless because they moved constantly, and that you are soft because you don't. The truth turns that idea completely upside down. There is an evolutionary anthropologist named Herman Poncer. He spent years studying one of the last hunter-gatherer societies on the planet, the Hadza people of Tanzania. The Hadza do not have couches, they do not have cars, they walk enormous distances every single day to find food, dig for roots, and hunt. By every assumption we hold, they should be burning through energy at a rate that dwarfs anyone living in a city. So Poncer measured it. He tracked exactly how many calories the Hadza burned in a day using the most precise methods available. And what he found stunned him. The Hadza, for all their walking and digging and hunting, burned roughly the same number of calories per day as an average office worker in a wealthy country. How is that possible? The answer reveals something profound about the body you live in. Your body is not a simple machine that burns more fuel the more it moves. It is a budget, a fixed budget. When you spend more energy on one thing, your body quietly takes it away from somewhere else. It dials down inflammation. It adjusts your hormones. It throttles back background processes you never notice. Poncer called this the constrained energy model. Your body defends its energy budget with everything it has, because for almost all of human history, running out of energy meant death. So the instinct to rest was never just about laziness. It was the visible tip of a vast, invisible system whose entire purpose was to guard your fuel like treasure. Your ancestors did not survive because they hustled. They survived because their bodies were ruthless about waste. Now think about what that means for the world you actually live in. You wake up, food is everywhere, and it is cheap, and it is engineered to be irresistible. You you barely have to move to get it. Your job, if you have one like most people now do, asks you to sit still for 8 hours. And underneath all of it, that ancient setting is still running. Do less, save energy, stay put. The instinct that once kept your ancestors alive is now quietly working against you every single day in a world it was never designed for. This is what scientists call an evolutionary mismatch. It means your instincts are perfectly tuned for an environment that has vanished. The Harvard evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman has spent his career studying exactly this collision. He wrote an entire book arguing that we were never evolved to exercise, not in the way we mean it today. Deliberate, voluntary, effortful movement for no immediate survival reason would have looked insane to your ancestors. Why would you burn precious calories on purpose when there is no food to chase and no predator to flee? Lieberman makes a point that should change how you see yourself. When you skip the workout, when you choose rest over effort, you are not being weak. You are being normal. You are doing exactly what hundreds of thousands of years of evolution shaped you to do. The shame you feel is the modern part of you. The instinct underneath it is ancient, and it is innocent, and it kept your bloodline alive. But notice the trap, because the same instinct that once saved your ancestors is the one that now makes it so hard to do the things that keep you healthy in this new world. Movement is no longer a survival cost. In a world of endless food and endless sitting, it has become a survival necessity. The very thing your body evolved to avoid is now the thing your body needs most. And that pull does not only show up at the gym. Think about the task you avoided this morning, the email you didn't send, the project you keep pushing to tomorrow. Your brain runs the same ancient calculation on mental effort that it once ran on physical effort. It looks at the work, weighs the cost, sees no immediate reward, and whispers the same old instruction: do less, save energy, stay put. What you experience as procrastination is, in part, that same prehistoric accountant refusing to spend energy on a goal it cannot see paying off today. Your ancestors could not eat a deadline. They could not digest a 5-year plan. The brain you inherited is built to value what is in front of it right now, and to discount almost everything that is far away. That made perfect sense in a world where tomorrow was never promised. It makes life quietly difficult in a world built entirely out of tomorrows. So what do you do with all of this? You stop fighting yourself as if you were the enemy. The resistance you feel is not a sign that something is broken in you. It is a sign that something worked beautifully for a very long time. You cannot delete an instinct that is 200,000 years deep, but you can understand it. And once you understand it, you can stop letting it run the controls in secret. You can make movement cheap, so your brain stops flagging it as a cost. A short walk instead of a daunting run. One small task instead of the whole impossible mountain. You can put the reward closer, where your ancient brain can actually see it. You can stop calling yourself lazy and start recognizing the survivor inside you who simply doesn't realize the famine is over. Because that is the truth hiding underneath the habit you hate most. It is not weakness. It is not failure. It is a 4 billion-year-old reflex to protect the one resource that ever truly mattered. Still firing in a body that no longer needs the protection. There was something you were supposed to do today. You didn't do it. And the oldest, most loyal part of you was only trying to keep you alive long enough to feel bad about it.